Go.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, and welcome to the Friday Night Chaos Stream for this, the first Friday of the year, January the 4th, 2019. It has thus far been an illustrious, beautiful new year. Um, our president has been in the rarest of rare forms. If anyone had the pleasure of watching Mr. Ben Shapiro of the Daily Wire earlier today. I caught just a little glimpse of what he was going on about, and the president has taken memeing the, the senators that he works with to a whole new level. But I'm getting way ahead of myself. It does tie into tonight's title, but more importantly than that, I'd like to get to the panel that I have with us tonight. Now, as you guys know, if you've watched the show before, but for those of you who this is the first time you're watching the show, what appears on my screen does not match what appears on your screen. So please follow me as I go through everybody from my left, starting all the way to my right. So we have a short panel with us tonight because, frankly, we were talking about this before we went on air. That's one of the reasons we're starting late. We gave it a few minutes for people to come stumbling in. I'm thinking everyone's wiped out from the new year because I was looking, no one is online. So I'm guessing a lot of people are still shot. So in the meantime, we're going to just introduce who we have with us so far, and we're just going to take it from there. So we have with us, of course, as always, the lovely Sarah Hatcherby Sanders. Sarah, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm still getting used to this new haircut. I was used to my hair being a little bit more girly, and it's masculine looking again, and I have to adjust. But other than that, I'm pretty good.
That's good.
And yeah, and of course we have my double. For those of you who are confused, that's actually Tara. Uh, I was just explaining to the temp before we went live. My computer does not work properly anymore. I cannot actually host on my computer. So Tara has a much better computer than me right now. So she hosts while I MC. So that's actually Tara that you're looking at now. So Tara, how are you?
Um, Migraine being bad. Bad migraine.
I'm sorry. Well, that sucks. Well, hopefully, it's
I
just
have the main volume on the computer down, so it should be fine.
okay. Well, hopefully we have just a quiet, uneventful stream, and no really severe noise or surprises or anything. I doubt anyone's gonna hop in
Yes,
with
please, no yelling, screeching, anything like that.
right. I don't think anyone's gonna hop in with a starter pistol. And as soon as I say that, naturally the phone goes. And so, last but not least on our panel, we have a good friend of mine, a buddy of mine. I actually started talking to when I first started streaming. Known this guy for a while now, and just generally a pleasure to be around. We have with us tonight the Temp Agency. The Temp, how are you, bro?
Doing well. How are you tonight?
Hanging in there, brother. Hanging in there as always. So, did you have a good holiday season?
Oh, oh, hell yeah. Hell yes. How,
Good.
you gotta love it when booze is a present.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Well, back when I used to drink anyway. But, yeah, bringing me back very far back in the memories. Actually, I just got a call that came in. Could you guys give me 2 seconds, ladies and gentlemen? Could you take over for a second for me?
Yeah.
hmm
Beauty.
So, where are we going to start? We want to start with the government shutdown, or we want to start with Zoe Quinn?
Let the temp
Those,
rant and rave about Zoe Quinn.
well, I mean, it's not really going to be ranting and raving about Zoe Quinn. It's more or less just proving a point that even people are pointing it out now. Like, wait a second, this is kind of weird. So apparently, she did some big comic. And The Verge, a writer did an article on it in The Verge. One second, let me pull up the name. But anyways, so this writer is, of course, talking about how wonderful the book is, and how she's, oh, wonderful. They interview Zoe Quinn, gets her ass kissed, and then later on it's proven that they have been friends, and it was never mentioned during the interview. Another journalist pointed it out the just recently, and I think it was the quartering that was talking about it.
Yeah, he's on top of everything.
And like at this point, okay, I understand victim of circumstance. But at a certain point, you gotta tell Pac-Man Jones, you may not be the guy with the gun, but it's always one of your friends who has the gun. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But with Zoe Quinn, it just seems to be time after time. Every time you hear her name, it's around some stupid shit.
What is she known for anyway? Something about it.
Isn't she the one that started Gamersgate?
Yeah.
She's the one who sparked it back up. Gamersgate, had a 5-day thing, and then everybody gave up on it. And then her stuff happened.
And then she false flagged Mundane Matt, and that's how he became big.
Yep. And people involved in Kotaku.
One that was giving sexual favors to people for reviews.
None of that was ever really proven, but it was pointed out that there was inappropriate stuff happening in one way or another with at least flirting.
Shit, I flirted with fucking everybody.
The whole Zoe Quinn thing
as a sexual favor.
Yeah. The whole Zoe Quinn thing, I don't really get why it keeps getting connected to something, and it's always journalists. Is she just poisoned for journalism?
Maybe. Oh, she's the lead paint that people keep eating.
Who is this now? Is poisoned for journalism? I just caught that part.
Zoe Quinn.
Zoe Quinn. Is that crazy, wild-eyed woman that's married to that Chinese guy? The one that she's got really nutty eyes and she was involved in Gamergate?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then she just come out with Zoe Quinn's goddess mod or mode makes cyberpunk magic from the internet.
Well, as an actual journalist, I kind of get annoyed when I get lumped in with people like her. I mean, look, I came from the era where the National Enquirer was not considered journalism, and now it is. So I kind of look at this Zoe Quinn girl with a raised eyebrow, and I'll be completely frank. I've had people tell me, you're sexist because I've said she looks crazy. She looks like she's out of her mind. I don't give a shit what sex she is. She looks nuts. And that's the whole thing. When I hear her talk and I look at her body language and listen to, just the combination, it's like the same thing with Elizabeth Warren. I don't give a fuck, again, what chromosomes the person has. Crazy is crazy. They all fit in the same straitjacket.
I have to count how many knives are in the house just to make sure not one of them is missing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can tell if you can look in somebody's eyes and you get that cold running down of fear that goes down your spine. I get that when I look at Elizabeth Warren. I get that when I look at. It just happens to be that they're all women. I don't know what it is. I guess maybe crazy people of power that are men don't. I guess they don't exist. They don't rise to power.
No, they rise to power. I mean, look at your God Emperor.
He's not crazy. He's just arrogant. These people are balls crazy. That's
no. Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders is absolutely the guy who is absolutely insane.
True that.
I love Bernie, and I'm saying he's senile.
You know what? What if, here's a conspiracy theory for you. What if they put Hillary in the running against Trump, knowing that she was going to end up losing in the first place, but pushed it as hard as they possibly could because they were doing everything to make sure Bernie Sanders didn't get into office? And they had to take the dive.
Who knows?
Oh God.
Scooby, turn off the phone.
Sorry. It's just because it's I don't know, something with her brother-in-law. I guess because the Democrats got the House now, he's at some sort of shindig mixer with all the New York Dems or whatever. I got to go pick the broad up. Do you think, Tara? Do you think you could take the helm until I get back? I'll be like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Bless your heart. You are the best. All right. I'll be back in a few minutes, guys. I'm sorry.
Reward me.
Reward you? All right. I'll cook. The next time when we're in DC this September, I'll make braciole mianga in fra diavolo puttanesca sauce. Okay.
Hot red sauce or hot horse sauce? Okay.
Yeah. I'll make it over fresh potato gnocchi and I'll serve it in a garlic and lemon gravy. The gnocchi. I'll cook it up like that.
As long as it's not a white sauce, I'm good.
No. It's like the gnocchi itself. You know what I'm saying? It's garlic and lemon to the water really quick, right towards the end. You don't want to add it like while it's cooking because it makes it swell and hold the starch. But you do it towards the end, right? You give it a quick rinse with that. You throw it in there. You get that water to a boil. You throw it in there really quick, and then boom, you rinse it off and you serve it. It's delicious. Yeah, I'll definitely. I mean, let's face it.
Last time.
What?
The being as I cooked last time at Moore.
I know. Well, I did bring the dessert. All right. All right, I'll be right back.
All right. Oh. All right. So the government's still shut down, and so my roommate the other night when my brother was still here, and mind you, my brother's jaw dropped to the floor because I am not a Trump supporter. I've made this perfectly clear multiple times. My roommate's going on and on about how the government shut down and Trump's the one that shut the government down and all this. And I just looked at her dead in the face. I was like, it's not Trump's fault. And I can feel my brother, his pride rising. And I'm just like, look, there's actually a GoFundMe for the wall. It's like, last we looked, it was like $15 million. And the House doesn't want to use the money towards it, even though it's private money. They want to use it towards something else. The House is divided on this, so the government got shut down because the House couldn't come to a consensus. And she's like, well, Trump said that he wants to keep the government shut down. I said, he could say everything he fucking wants, but he can't keep the government shut down. It has to start going at some point.
Yeah.
Or else our fucking economy is going to fucking fall. And then last night, she was ranting and raving because, the IRS changed some of the questions on their form. And she's like, Trump did this. Trump did it. No. IRS is always changing their shit.
Mm-hmm. Well, one thing I like about Trump, I've always liked Trump. He gets down to brass tacks. Like, he will say whatever comes to his mind. He don't give a fuck. Like, he just keeps it 100. He will say shit that people are afraid to say. Oh, because they're not politically correct. He don't give two fucks. He's like, look, one of the reporters there, he says, well, did you say this, that you would keep the government shut down for months to years? He said, yeah, I said it. And what? He's like, look, we need to secure our borders. You look at anywhere else. They have their fucking borders secured. You go into any other country. okay, illegally, you'll get shot on sight or you'll be put in prison. Like, we got to do something about immigration. Like, if there's, I have no problem with people coming here legally. You come in here the right way. But if you're coming here where you want to jump the border or then you want to blame Trump, oh, for separating families. No, you know that you're doing something illegally. And then you're going to sit there and blame, oh, orange man, bad. No, no, you come here. We have rules and regulations that we have to follow. And it's like, I'm just so sick of this. And, you know, and these Democrats are like, oh, well, you know, it's like, no, it's like we need to do something. These people are coming over here illegally, taking our jobs. When are we going to put our foot down and be like, no, we need to stand up for our people? Those people are not our people. The people that are naturally born here or come over here the right way, those are our people. Like, it's just like it's the same shit over and over. It's a revolving door. It's like, and I think the government shouldn't be shut down for as long as it has to be until, look, we build this fucking wall. You don't see Canadians hopping the damn border trying to come over here. No.
Well, they have free health care.
Well, that's true too.
That's
That's true. But I mean, it's still you
gotta
didn't see
remember
my
also
point.
that they're fucking penguins. They enjoy the cold.
Yeah, that's true too.
And Irving, if you're still watching, you better come defend yourself if you don't want me calling you a penguin.
It's
I
like,
don't know. It says we got 7 watching right now.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I know who like 3 of them are.
Well, go ahead. Sound off.
Well, I know
Anyways,
one's me, and
one's me.
one is yeah. So that's the 3. Stalemate might be a 4th, so 3 others. Usually we have some quiet ones. Maybe a Richard Art. I know Burnside's not watching because his happy ass is at work, so he can pay for me to fly up to Illinois. Oh, Temp, you didn't hear. We made things official.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. We finally met up in DC, and after the first time we messed around, he didn't say, "That's great," or "That was wonderful," or, "You're really good at that." No, his words were, "Dating's gonna be a bitch."
Oh. Love,
So
though.
we had made
It's
it clear
wonderful.
that, it was an unofficial relationship, that, we were just playing it by ear. Everyone was saying we were together, we were together. So I jokingly said to him, we should just go ahead and make it fucking official, our relationship. Everyone thinks we are anyway. He's like, sure, why not?
Nice, nice. Me and the wife just actually got matching tattoos finally.
Awesome.
Uh, we are My Little Pony fans. I will say that because I like My Little Pony. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty cool stuff. Would I label myself a brony? Not really. But that's because like I'm seasons behind. And I don't clump or whatever it's called. Whatever the porn stuff is called. That's just weird. Um, but sorry about that.
I think I still have My Little Pony lunchbox from when I was a kid. Like, that's, God, 25 years ago.
You mean the real? You mean the real My Little Ponies, not these things that look
Yes.
like, they, in my opinion, these things look like Steven Universe before Steven appeared.
Yes, the actual My Real Little Pony. Yes.
Yeah, Yeah, the era of the real My Little Pony, Lady Lovely Locks, and the Gummy Bears cartoon.
Actually, I still think I have my Care Bears suitcase too. I know I still have my uh, Ninja Turtles backpack, like the square ones that would zip, like it was square and it would open up on the
Mhm.
side. Yeah, it's out there in part of the building that didn't burn down. Thank God. But it's out there somewhere. I know it is because like I was one of those weird kids that like I would play with certain toys,
Dude,
but
if you tell me you have something Rainbow Bright, I will come up there and rape you for it.
I don't think Rainbow Bright. I
And yes,
might still
people,
have
I said
something.
RAPE. I want that fucking doll.
Oh, I'd have to go out there and look in one part of the building if it's because I
I
know
mean,
it's.
I have an original Wicket, an original stuffed Wicket. I'm trying to get it all fluffed out so I can send a picture to Clownfish TV for Neon and Geeky Sparkles. Because Neon got Geeky a more modern Wicket that looks more like Wicket. But I have one of the originals from the 70s, 80s.
Nice.
Unfortunately, I threw him into the dryer and he still didn't fluff out, so I'm going to take a steamer to him.
Nice.
Because all his fur is like
Is
matted to his face. And luckily his cowl comes off so I can take that off and fluff all his fur out.
Like my mom found stuff that I had since I was a kid in this back room that we have in the house here. I was like, holy shit, this really makes me feel old. God.
Oh, there's a trunk on my aunt's porch that has shit that I made when I was in like preschool that my mom collected.
I should.
And when I moved to Illinois, that's going in the U-Haul. And I know what Burnside's going to say. What the hell is this? Open it up, and all this shit falls out.
Well, when I was in preschool, at our high school, we had a preschool there, and
Is that because most of the students got pregnant?
no, I have no idea why they had a preschool there, but I did go to preschool there because the teacher who taught the preschool lived right across from the high school, and her husband like always thought of me as his kid, and like he would always make me stuff. Like he made me this. Um, it was like you hang up your jacket, and then it had my name on it. It was, and you could put stuff on top. It was a little small thing, but he hung it on the wall. And then he made me this old school gumball machine where it was all made out of wood, and you pulled the piece out and put the quarter in and put it back in and then pulled it again and your gumball fell out. I still have that. Like, and that was God, 27 years ago. Like, well, no, I probably went there when I was like 3. I went there for 2 years.
Stop counting years. You're making me feel fucking old.
Uh, so yeah, but they disbanded the preschool, like, because it was the, or when I was in school it was the old band room. But they built onto our high school, so
I actually drove by my old kindergarten today. And it was, at the time, when I was going there, it was Duval Elementary, the Duval Dragons. And I loved going there because we were the Duval Dragons. I drive by there now, and it's Duval Early Learning Academy. And it's a huge fucking school that's an early learning academy. So essentially, they turned a school, a real fucking school that went up to fifth grade, into a daycare.
wow.
What the fuck happened?
I drive
The
past.
hell?
I drive past my old elementary school every time I go to my brother's, but I went up there until the third grade because we were at that school. They had to separate us because they were so overpopulated, overcrowded. So they tore down the Blackburn Middle School and rebuilt the school and made it Blackburn Elementary. So from fourth grade up to sixth grade, I went to Blackburn Elementary. But from kindergarten to third grade, I went to Startown. And we were the Tigers. And then Blackburn, what were we? The fuck were
Syrup.
we? What the
Well,
hell?
so far we have 3 upvotes and 7 downvotes. Thank you so much for the interaction.
Yeah, seriously, that's a lot of hate.
For
Like,
real.
come on. Come on. People just anyway.
Hey, I'm just happy for the interaction.
Yeah, true. Irving, you still out there? Probably not.
He's probably making out with Gina Davis right now.
Or drinking whiskey and smoking a cigarette. Knowing that guy. While making out with Gina Davis. Ugh. So what did you guys do for Christmas?
My brother came to visit. You've seen American Celt in the chat, right?
I believe I have.
Yeah, that's my brother.
Okay.
He came up here to visit. And let's see, we went to Cedar Key to go fishing. We caught a bunch of, 10, well, we caught a bunch of our own croakers, and then some people gave us theirs. They're this little fish that's edible.
Ooh.
And so I cooked the croakers for dinner. But we went there and went fishing, walked around. I got some video. I'm gonna be I have a Cedar Key video in progress. The next 6 minutes is gonna give me a tutorial on how to use a shortcut, so I can remove sound from video and put my own sound over it, be it music or me recording, because I'm gonna make a script for it. I normally don't do things scripted, but for this I'm going to. And I also made a thumbnail for all my videos that are live streamed. Let me see if I
Oh,
can
man.
pull it up.
Thumbnails. I had a few of them. Crash Underride was a friend of mine. He actually made my avatar right now. I just keep it because I think it's nice. But I ain't heard from him in a while.
Oh. Oh. There we go.
Like there's so many people at the boom at the beginning of the year of streaming
Like,
of people that streamed for like a month and then disappeared.
okay, hold on, guys. My roommate's asking if presidents can be asked to quit.
He's trying to cut all food stamps, all Medicaid, any kind of government assistance
He's been saying that.
starting in February.
Legally, he can't cut it all. I'm
He's
telling
made
you,
a
he
comment
he
he
can't.
can.
No, he
Because the
can't.
government, he's
No,
shutting down more and more.
He can't shut down the government. Literally, he can't.
He just shut down the entire IRS. So all
He didn't do that.
Who did?
The House. When the House shut down, everything shut down.
The video
I don't care. What are you watching? Fucking CNN, Fox, what?
No, it was a video of them doing their thing, and they were trying to get it open, and he kept saying, no, 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 no.
He can sit there sit there and say that all he wants. He can't do shit.
And he's like, I will make the government be shut down for years.
Guess what? He can't. The only way he can do that is by declaring martial law, and even the other 3 branches of government have to approve it.
Who says that?
That's what, let's see, American government classes, civil history. That's how the branches of government work. Checks and balances.
I'm going to call my uncle in Washington and the rest of the government because he'll have better insight.
Whatever, but he can't shut down the government unless he declares martial law, and then even the other branches of government have to approve it.
In United States politics, a government shutdown occurs when Congress fails to pass or the president refuses to sign appropriations legislation funding federal government operations and agencies.
And they're talking about cutting food stamps.
They can't cut food stamps. That's a state-to-state thing.
Where do you think their money gets their money from?
It doesn't matter. They can't shut it down. It's a state-to-state thing.
It's the United States Department of Agriculture. It comes from the government.
No. Yes, but it's divvied up by the state. It's a state decision. A state can cut off their food stamps, not the government. That's how local branches of government work. That's why every state has its own constitution.
Get a Ray.
Oh my God. I hated my American government class in college, but things stuck. Okay. And what's funny is she knows I'm on air.
I did nothing but argue with my political science teacher.
All right, so here's the thumbnail I created.
One second. I gotta get to the live part. Oh shit. It's actually pretty dope.
I mean, I plan to go in and tweak it more, like get the white from around my avatar's head and Scooby's avatar's head. I wasn't feeling well that day, so I just cut it off. Stop.
Oh, no, I don't blame you at all. There's a couple of programs that when you cut it, if you go into into the figure, it'll figure out what's the figure and what needs to be cut. I use one on my phone. I forget the name of it.
Irving's in the chat going, yup. I wonder if that's because I said that the president can't shut everything down.
Ask your roommate, did she forget how Obama shut down the government too?
Yeah, this has been a common occurrence over the past
Ronald Reagan shut it down?
long time, yeah.
I think the only president that didn't shut it, only 2 presidents that didn't shut it down were Bush Jr. and Clinton.
During the Bill Clinton administration, there were 2 full government shutdowns during 1995 and 96, lasting 5 to 21 days respectively, based on disagreement on whether to cut government services. During Barack Obama administration, a 17-day government shutdown occurred during October 2013 over Democrats and Republicans not coming to an agreement for the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act, known colloquially as Obamacare.
Well, she's over here calling her uncle that works in Washington, D.C., that he'll have more insight. No, there's a reason for checks and balances. That's why we have 3 main branches of government, excluding the White House.
That is a fair assertion.
That's what they're there for. The Senate is checked by Congress. The Congress is checked by House. The House is checked by the presidency, and then it cycles through again. Each bill has to go through, I think, like at least twice before it's fully approved.
I'll be right back.
All right.
Okay. It says since 1976, when the current budget and appropriations process was enacted, there have been 22 gaps in budget funding, 10 of which led to federal employees being furloughed. Prior to 1990, funding gaps did not always lead to government shutdowns, but since 1990, the practice has been to shut down the government for all funding gaps. Shutdowns have also occurred at the state, territorial, and local levels of government.
Yeah, see, ours is still going. If it wasn't going, then our roads wouldn't be getting fixed right now.
Right.
Here, I'm going to Google it. And we're going to share this. Let's see here. All right. Yeah, it says, Wiki says, in the United States politics, a government shutdown occurs when Congress fails to pass or the president refuses to sign appropriations legislation funding federal government appropriations and agencies. It's not necessarily Trump's fault.
Exactly.
All right, can Trump actually shut down the government over wall funding? This is coming from the Washington Post. Constructing a border wall is essential to President Trump. So essential, he said he's willing to close down the government to get it. But what would it take for Trump to actually force government shutdown? How likely is that to happen? As Congress staffers will tell you, it's complicated, and nobody knows exactly how Trump would react in the moment of truth. Before now, he's threatened government shutdowns. It's not a big deal, even a good thing. It could be a lot harder to make that argument from the Oval Office. Here's a breakdown of the scenarios we could see playing out this fall, some leading to a shutdown, others keeping the government open past the September 30th deadline. Scenario 1, government stays open because Congress passes funding for a border wall, giving Trump what he wants. Government stays open because Congress approves new border security measures that satisfy Trump, even though they don't constitute full-fledged funding for a wall. Or the more likely one, the government stays open because Congress passes a short-term spending bill promising to deal with wall funding at a later date. Well, another one is government stays open because McKenna breaks the legislative filibuster, allowing funding for a wall to pass. All right. The less likely scenario, the government shuts down because Congress approves a spending bill without wall funding, and Trump makes good on his threat.
Chloe, stop snoring. That's my dog.
And that's the only shutdown mentioned. It's possible that the president will hold Congress's feet to the fire and reject any spending bill that doesn't include the wall funding for the wall. The thing is President Trump knows about the GoFundMe.
Mm-hmm.
He actually has mentioned it, that there's a GoFundMe for the wall. So he, if he wants this wall built, the money's there.
Right.
In that case, Trump would have been ready to risk political consequences. That was shutdown consequences we know he is aware of because of something he tweeted when the government shuttered last time. My sense is that people are far angrier at the president than they are at Congress. The shutdown, an interesting turn. He wrote that in 2013. But the fact is that what happened is Congress couldn't come to an agreement.
Right. They just need to stop their fucking pansy ass fucking shit and just be like, look, okay, we're gonna give you what you want, President. We know it. We know in our heart of hearts we need this fucking wall. But at the same time, we want to be politically correct. That's but they need to stop just fucking pointing fingers and stop acting like a bunch of fucking 2-year-olds and just build the fucking wall. What is so wrong with protecting our fucking country? Like, what is wrong with stopping illegal immigration? There's nothing wrong with that. But the Democrats are like, oh, well, we won't get our numbers. Oh, and it's like, y'all are a bunch of fucking sissy ass fucking pussy bitch boys and women too. Like,
Okay, now see, Congress actually has the ability to override the president doing a shutdown. So again, this was not Trump. This was actually Congress.
mm-hmm.
Because it's stating right here, the president does have the power to veto bills, including spending bills. This initiates a government shutdown because the government agencies will no longer be legally allowed to spend the money that pays its workers. Congress has the power to override such a veto. The president has the power to veto bills that raise the ceiling debt. This would initiate a government shutdown in a slightly more indirect way because although the individual government agencies will still be legally allowed to turn the handle on the money faucet that pays workers, which is actually what's going on right now, other parts of the government would no longer be allowed to rack up debt that puts money into those pipes. Congress also has the power to override such vetoes. So, yeah. Trump can't shut down the government. Congress would literally turn around and open it right back up.
Yeah, but people that are on his side and so forth, like they can vote against it, and then the president can refuse to sign any.
Well, see, they're also not getting paid.
Right.
And they've become accustomed to a lavish lifestyle. So they're going to open the government back up.
Oh, yeah.
On my access form when I signed in, as of Tuesday, the department's website, due to the lapse of funding, federal funding, the USDA will not actively be updated.
Yeah, non-essential personnel will be furloughed. Essential personnel will have to come into work.
SNAP benefits for January, but after January 31st, no one will receive food stamps. And that's before.
Okay, that was our government making that choice.
The USDA, food stamps is funded by the USDA, which is the United States government. If they don't have,
and it's also a state-to-state thing
coming from the USDA government. If they don't have the money,
it depends
from the government, then they can't get food stamps.
Sweetheart,
Alabama's
Katrina,
down. All these
it ain't just Trump. Obama said the same thing. Bush said the same thing too. Multiple presidents have said the same thing.
Trust me, the government's going to be reopened because Congress is the one that shut it down. They couldn't come to a consensus.
Including school lunch, school breakfast, and adult care feeding, summer food service, and special local continue.
Multiple presidents have said the same thing.
For all school programs.
It will come back on, believe me, because the people in Congress, House, and Senate have all become accustomed to a lavish lifestyle, and they're gonna want this money because they're not getting paid either.
And they're essential personnel, and they are not getting paid. Yeah.
It'll come back. I'm not freaking about it.
Yeah, but you're like supporting him.
No, actually, I'm not. I'm explaining how the government works.
Food stamps come from government. Has a
The funding comes from the U.S. Treasury. Yes.
U.S. Department of Agriculture.
Which gets their money from the U.S. Treasury.
So if U.S. Treasury is shut down, USDA is shut down, no one gets
Back in time for a roommate fight.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, they can shut the program down.
That's the state. Our state.
This happen often?
Or not, they actually have a reserve fund.
We're on our
nice.
No, actually, we're not. They're holding on to more money. They have more money.
You are putting too much.
No, I know how the Florida government works. They always have a reserve fund to continue paying, like, I don't know, our fucking governor, Ted Yoho. He needs money. They're going to continue to pay him and his dumb bitch lieutenant governor. Well, trust me, if the entire government stays shut down for longer than 30 days, the economy is going to collapse. If that happens, I'm not even going to wait for a plane. I'm going to steal somebody's horse and fucking ride up to fucking Illinois.
Oh, ew.
Burnside?
If the government collapses?
No, if the economy collapses. If the economy collapses, there will be rioting.
Basically, another Great Depression.
Yeah, but you know what? At least with Burnside, I got guns. His
I
mom
think
has all
most
his
of the
guns.
people you know online have guns.
I don't love you. I love him.
You go up there to be with him if there was a riot.
Yeah. No problem right there. Shit, we live across the way from fucking Hale Plantation. There's horses right out front. I know how to ride bareback.
Crazy.
I know, that's what she said.
Bear.
Over a government shutdown.
You're the one freaking out over a government shutdown.
They're gonna shut down everything.
It's gonna come back.
Right.
Sweetheart,
It
the
does
government
every
shut down
time.
during Obama.
Shit, actually, Obama caused the government shutdown.
Not like this.
Actually,
Yeah,
yeah,
he
his was
did.
for 17 days. It hasn't even been 17 days.
Oh.
Bush Jr. caused the government shutdown. Clinton caused two of them, both of his terms. Reagan caused one. Almost
Reagan
every
caused 8
presidential term,
shutdowns. 8.
there has been. Oh, Reagan caused 8 shutdowns.
Yes.
Holy fuck! Every year.
Almost every single presidential term has had a shutdown. And it's usually either the red or the blue not wanting to come together and make purple.
Yes. Ronald Reagan administration, there were
That's
a
weird.
total of 8 shutdowns lasting 4 days or less.
Wages, which only lasted for 9 hours. That was his only shutdown.
Nope, there was another one, 17 days. It was for Obamacare.
Yes. Barack Obama administration, a 17-day government shutdown occurred during
Until they
October
finally
2013.
agreed, but they put other stipulations into Obamacare. I remember that shutdown.
And only 3 shutdowns have occurred since Donald Trump took
Obamacare was
office.
already a law. Funding for the wall is not a wall. The situation in 2013.
Again, I told you what it is the House and Congress don't want to fucking use the GoFundMe money to fund this wall. Trump knows about this and he's like, use the money. They're like, no, we want to give it back to the people. These people voluntarily donated this money to the wall. I bet you I could pull up the GoFundMe right now and somebody just donated.
Yeah, dude, that thing's pretty fucking insane.
It's at like 15 million already.
We talk about it all the time at work. And it's just one of those things. I work with older people, so this is the first time they're hearing about this type of thing.
He even talked about doing away
So
with
it's
half the stuff he's trying to do away
Every
with.
president has talked about doing away with food stamps, welfare, all that shit. Every single one.
Obama did.
No.
Obama raised it.
Obama wanted to get rid of half of it.
Obama wanted to get
He wanted to get rid of half of it, though. He raised it for those that qualify. He wanted to get rid of it for those that didn't.
That didn't qualify, because the people that don't qualify should have been getting food stamps.
No. He had his own stipulations of qualifying. All right, that we the people will fund the wall GoFundMe. Let's see what it's at. It is at 19 million. And a woman donated 1 minute ago $80. Their goal is 1 billion.
exactly how many donators have they had?
314,785 people in the last 18 days.
You see, like that's a good chunk of people, man. Like
And
maybe
this was created December 16th, 2018.
now maybe it's just a percentage of a percentage, but you know,
The only thing Obama wanted was for SNAP to make people go back to work, and that wasn't meant to sit there and get.
They've been enacting that, sweetheart. California.
It's been that way in Florida.
right.
California has a
Unless you have an exemption
program.
like I do.
You have to go work. You have to find work with so many days, or you get cut off. That's been, and I've lived out in California for 10 years.
Yeah,
Look,
it's
this
always
is
been
what
that
I'm
way
gonna
here in
say.
Florida, too, unless you have an exemption with that, which I do because I have proof that I've been fighting for disability, and in the state of Florida, you can't work and fight for disability.
This is what I say
I don't
about it.
like Trump either. He's a slimy little fuck, as far as I'm concerned.
He's a racist, sexist.
How's he a rapist? You can't rape the
He
Willie.
hasn't been charged, but anyway.
There's been out.
Bill Cosby's a fucking
Yeah, there's
rapist.
allegations on all sorts of people,
And they
but
Harvey Weinstein's a
unless
rapist.
you have actual proof that they did it,
So if I make an allegation, so hold on, with that statement, if I make an allegation against someone that they raped me, would you not want the proof? Like that?
I would want the actual physical evidence proof. Yes. It depends. Does this person already have a history of it?
So if I was
Look
raped
at R. Kelly.
and this finally came clean with it, you would want it. Physical evidence. How can you get physical evidence if I was raped 2 nights ago?
Your clothes from that night.
Okay, well, I took them off and threw them away.
Well, that was your dumb fuck fault.
But I mean, reality is.
No.
And
Reality is that was your dumb fuck fault for throwing them away.
People are ashamed.
Like seriously, is she an actress?
I was ashamed of it, but you
Because
know
this
what?
is fucking amazing.
The fact that I didn't go to the police when I was raped when I was 16 was my own
So
dumb
how do I
fuck
know
fault.
you were actually raped at 16? I would want the physical proof. That's like me saying I want the physical proof.
Okay, it's Katrina. I was
Well,
raped at 5. Did I?
I didn't go to the police, so there's
As a
no
kid.
physical evidence of
Right.
it. So,
that's kind of
well, if you were raped, you should go to the police.
So why didn't that's the same thing? Those people went.
Starting to get
They
depressing
went
now.
everywhere. He bought them all.
Well, they decided to settle out of court. Those are those dumb bitches' faults.
But he's still considered like.
Well,
if
okay.
a rapist.
Okay,
In
Katrina,
those
you
people's
can't.
eyes.
Okay,
Everybody
Donald Trump paid these people off. Okay, Stormy Daniels, who is a porn actress who gets fucked
Rapist,
on a daily
con
basis.
artist, who's just-
I agree with con artists, but then again, all businessmen are con men.
Yes and no.
No, yes, because they convince you that you need whatever product they have.
So,
That is the definition of a con artist, is to convince you need something.
well, no, con artist is scheming.
No, con artists can be completely by the books and still be a con artist.
Convincing someone.
I mean,
Look at.
come on, look, very first con artist
look
was
at
Jesus
Bernie
Christ.
Madoff. Look at Bernie Madoff. He did that big ass Ponzi scheme.
In
Look
many
at Bernie
ways, yeah,
Madoff.
you convince them that they need a new car when they probably don't.
I mean, hey, I just got your internet request on the 2019 Jeep Pacifica or whatever. Why don't you come in for an appointment? Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
That's being a con artist.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. It's
No,
convincing
selling
them that they
something to
need
you
a new
that you don't
product.
need.
But they inquired about.
Well, it's they inquired about it, fine, but still, you're
It's
convincing
like the
them that they need something that they don't.
it's like the
actually
fucking in-store warranty. You don't need that shit.
I mean,
You'll
the
be
only
paying
thing
the
I
same price.
require on a car at this point, which I mentioned to you tonight when we were looking at
is a
cars,
person who cheats
was
and tricks others by. Is a person who cheats or tricks others. That's a curse. That's a con artist.
by what?
That's a person who cheats or tricks others.
Okay, and that's
Cheating and tricking people can be a many sort of different ways. Your son's constantly telling you you tricked him into doing something because you got him to do what you wanted him to do. When I would be a fucking political telemarketer, I would tell people, oh, this is a 1 minute survey. It's a 3 fucking minute survey. We had to tell them it was a 1 minute survey. I was a con artist to get them to take that fucking survey. I hated myself for it, but it was a fucking paycheck.
Republicans
And Democrats, pretty much all politicians. All politicians are con artists.
Yep.
Oh, especially the Democrats, though.
I don't trust politicians. Any of them.
But you think
It's just like lawyers. They're professional
I don't
lawyers.
even like Trump. He's a skeezy, slimy fucker. I don't like him. But the way the government works, he can't keep the government shut down. But I just looked it up. If he were to shut down the government over this shit, Congress has the ability to override it.
So if they have the ability to override it, why haven't they yet?
Because they're the ones that shut it down.
Yep.
Sure about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I looked it up. They're the ones that fucking shut it down. You can sit there and say you don't believe it all you want, but I've fucking looked it up myself. Whether or not the president can shut down the government, it says he has the ability to, but Congress can override it. And they would if it was over something fucking stupid.
But a lot of people want this wall built.
So, okay, so I just read Trump threatened to keep the government shut down.
Oh, he can
for months or even years.
He can threaten
Yeah, he said
anything
it.
he wants, but he can't actually do it. Oh, okay. The president does have the power to veto bills, including spending bills. This initiates a government shutdown because the government agencies will no longer be legally allowed to spend the money that pays workers. Congress has the power to override such a veto. Okay, the next scenario. The president has the power to veto bills that would raise the debt ceiling. This would initiate a government shutdown in a slightly more indirect way because although the individual government agencies would still be legally allowed to turn the handle on the money faucet that pays workers, meaning state to state, other parts of the government will no longer be allowed to rack up debt that puts money into those pipes. Congress also has the power to override such vetoes. He didn't shut it down. Another branch of government did because they're being pussy little bitches and red and blue won't come together and make purple.
And make a wall, which is bullshit.
Why? Okay, tell me why is it bullshit that we
is going to end up coming out of everybody's pocket.
No, actually, it's not. There's a fucking GoFundMe at almost 20 million.
But they can't use.
They can use it.
That's because Congress doesn't want to use the money. They want to use the money to line their own fucking pockets instead of what the people want it to be used for.
Ask Katrina if she can hear me. Why is it you don't want the wall built?
Because actually right now he can't spend his money being a president.
He refused to take the president's
by law.
check.
No, by law he cannot use his personal money in any form of way in the government. That is actually a stipulation of being president.
He can't afford it, but he did afford it.
No, he can't afford it. He's a fucking billionaire.
His own personal money last year to the government. So how is that?
I don't recall this, but for a big spending, he's not allowed to.
Of his own money.
of his own money.
It,
Hillary wasn't allowed to spend her own money, and she was the first lady.
He did it to like some child thing, something for children.
Charity is one thing.
That wasn't a charity. It was something in the government, something that protected children.
It was considered a charity. He could write it off as a charity. Even the president has to pay the taxes.
Yeah, he even showed that where he pays taxes. He pays more taxes than we do.
So, well, this is what it says. Do you want me to find you the Wikipedia? I'll send you the link. I'll send you the link of what I have right now.
Well, ask her why she don't want the wall built.
It's just people like you, Burnside, anybody.
No, actually, no. They fixed. They fixed it. You had. Since a couple of years ago, they put it to where someone else is in control of it. You have to donate now in order to be able to add to it, and you have to have citations.
But anybody can go.
No, not just anybody. You have to have citations that are proven.
Well, why is it you don't want the wall built? We have rules and regulations that says in our Constitution, you want to come over here, you got to come over here legally. Katrina, take your ass over to Japan or Iraq or Iran, go in illegally and see what happens. You will be shot on sight, or you will be jailed for years for coming in illegally. What is so wrong with us building a fucking wall to protect our fucking country? I have no problem people coming over here legally, the right way. But if you come over here the wrong way, no, you need to be fucking deported.
Yes, it is a real site.
Hello.
Hello, Scooby.
Hey, Scooby.
You're enjoying missing out on me trying to explain the government again.
Oh, what, the Katrina?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, blood from a stone time, is it?
Oh my god, dude, this shit is fucking hilarious to listen to.
Isn't it? Seriously, you have no idea. A lot of people come here, because they expect to listen to me talk. Nah, the entertainment is listening to these two go back and forth. It really is.
Like, they need to do an odd couple about the two of them.
Yeah, seriously. Like, what are they talking about now with the government?
It's Trump's fault because of the government shutdown. Trump is threatened to cut funding from food stamps and everything, but that's been pretty much every fucking president.
Well, the problem is, I have no problem saying this either. The problem squarely rests with the Democrats and the never Trump Republicans. That's where the problem lies.
Shit, I'm sitting here blaming both of them.
That's what I'm saying.
I was like, what caused this shutdown is the fact that red and blue won't come together and make purple.
Yeah. Well, I specifically, part of the reason I'm registered as a Republican is you have to register as one or the other, and I will not register with the Democrats. That's just how it works.
And I won't register with the Republicans.
Well, you have your weird reasons. I have mine.
Well, like I've told you before, in Florida, our Democrats are your Republicans.
I just won't throw in my lot with the Democrats because of their history over the centuries. I could give a shit now. Like, the fact that they have crazy Muslims like Keith Ellison and who's that chick? She looks like Hungry Hippos. Simone Sanders. Just because they have people like that now in the Democratic Party does not. Leopards don't change their spots. They're still an evil party.
Yeah.
I don't know. Any party that tries to marginalize any person because of blank, it's just somebody I don't want to throw my hat in the ring with,
Then it was funny too, Scooby. They were arguing over what a con artist is, and Tara was trying to tell Katrina, you could be a con artist and you can do everything by the books. You can still be considered a con artist.
Yeah, the president is not a con artist. You know who a con artist is?
No, I said even businessmen are con artists because they convince you that you need their product.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying like the president isn't a con artist. You know who's a real con artist is Bernie Sanders.
Well,
Like if you see there's this one video, and he says it, and I'll never forget.
She was trying to get me to explain to her, which I was trying to, and she wasn't listening.
I know.
Of why Trump couldn't just fund the wall himself. And I'm like, well, legally as president, he cannot use his personal money for a government venture.
Yeah. Conflict of interest.
I said, it's literally tied up. He cannot touch his money.
Yeah.
I said, and then there's this GoFundMe that's going, and, you know, legally they can use that because it is funded by private parties. It is funded by the people.
Right. If the House chooses
the government,
to appropriate,
you know, the Congress, which is the one that shut down the government, doesn't want to use the money for that. They want to use it to line their own pockets.
Right. Well, specifically because now you have a Democratic
and now
House.
she's saying, well, you're kind of supporting him. I'm like, no, he's a slimy little fucker. I don't fucking like him. I said, but he didn't shut down the government. Because I read to her where, you know, it states, and I'm summarizing because I've read it word for word twice now, summarizes where it states the president can cause a government shutdown, but Congress has the ability to veto his government shutdown. They can be like, no, you're being a pussy little bitch, and turn it back on. and yes, Rich, she's an NPC.
You see what I sent you, Tara? I'm going to get you the hat.
Fuck off.
I'm getting you that hat.
Suck a dick, Scooby.
Seriously, you're going to be, trust me.
I just paid attention in American government when I was in college.
I know, and you're going to be riding the Trump train on 2020. I see it coming. You can't help it.
Shit, for the third goddamn... I'd rather get run over by the train.
It's
that can be arranged.
I don't think Burnside would like that much, even though I might.
We have fun here on the Trump train. It's a lot of fun, you know?
No.
You even admitted you had so much fun when we went to Moore. Everyone was nice. They were friendly.
Yes, they were. And I was nowhere near that slimy fucker.
You know, I like it.
Next year and we see him outside, you know, practicing his golf swing, I'm probably going to shoot him a bird and walk away.
And he'll just wave like, fuck you too.
Did you
Trump
hear
literally gives zero fucks.
Queenie, with my luck, fucking, what is it? Secret Service will walk up to me and go, ma'am, the president would like to speak with you. And I just look at him and go, why? Because I told him to fuck off.
Did any of you see what he did today in his meeting that he had?
Oh, where he was saying where other countries have walls and they shoot people on sight for trying to enter illegally and it works?
Well, not just that. He had on the table during the meeting, somebody had made a meme of him from Game of Thrones. And instead of it being winter is coming, it said sanctions are coming. So he took the meme and he had it printed out on a piece of paper and he had it put in the middle of the table during the meeting.
I did not see that. Oh.
Yeah. This guy is a panic. I have a ball with him. I'm sorry.
See, I like Trump
my brother
before he
says,
even decided.
get on board the Trump train. We have puppies that would have been eaten on Bernie's train. Chunky monkey. When you put them in boiling water, you know, the adrenaline makes them so tender and juicy and just has such flavor.
See, I've liked Trump since before he decided to run for president. He just calls it like he sees it. And him being everybody labeling him as a sexist or racist or rapist or whatever. You
Yeah, you
can't
missed that,
rape the
Scoop.
fucking women.
I was even like, okay, so where's the proof? And she's like, well, he was accused of it, and he paid them off. Okay, they decided to take the money. That's their own dumb fuck fault.
Exactly. And then they come back and they signed the NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, and violated that agreement and still ran. And especially Stormy Daniels, who is a known porn actress who fucks on
Oh no,
camera.
just say it the way it is. She's a porn star, not actress. They can't act worth shit.
Right. Porn star, excuse me. She's a porn star.
The only one that I have seen that can act worth shit, female porn star wise, is Tracy Lords. And the only male porn star I've seen that's able to act worth shit is Ron Jeremy. And both of them, it always end up playing some sort of horny bastards anyway. Ron Jeremy in Boondock Saints plays, a mafioso that likes to go to the skin bin and whack his meat. In fucking Zack and Miri Make a Porno, Tracy Lords is in a fucking porno.
Oh,
where she's fucking a guy in the ass. So, they still end up in the genres that they started in.
Right. It's like, then she's coming back, like, Stormy Daniels coming back for, like, more money and shit and trying to, just eat up that fame. Like, it's like, you can't rape the willing. Oh, and so what? Trump made a fucking comment, grab him by the pussy. Oh, God. Like, who gives a
Yeah, he can stay far, far away from mine.
I think it's funny. Like,
only one allowed to grab is Burnside.
And it's just like us women saying, you know what, we got to grab men by the balls, or we have them by the balls. Like, it ain't no different. We're not going to play that double standard fucking bullshit. You know what? If a man can say grab him by the pussy, well, just like us women, we can say grab him by the balls. Like, the fuck's the difference?
Nah. I go for something way more painful on certain men. Grab them by the foreskin and yank. That shit hurts them. Otherwise, grab them by the tip and squeeze.
Oh. But I would love to know Katrina's answer why she don't want the wall built. Like, that would be just so
Mexican. Did you hear me, Sarah?
Yeah.
That's why.
Uh-oh.
Richard's in the chat going, Elf Mama, why? My dick. Because I am a cruel, sadistic bitch. What are you doing, Scooby?
That's my wife cleaning because she's insane.
Okay.
Yeah, she comes home and she starts cleaning. She does this weird shit at all hours. It's fine. I'm used to it. Sorry. She's she was sweeping up and everything. She's weird like that. I don't mind. It's most people they can't get their wives to clean, so I ain't got a bitch.
Hey, I've already told Burnside I cook, I don't clean. Oh, yeah. Thank you, people, for the other 4 downvotes. Thank you so much. Thank you for the interaction.
Yeah, seriously. Well, I'll tell you this much. I was watching the news today around here locally. Wow. The cognitive dissonance of just like the local people around here just boggles my mind. Just they do not give a shit what anyone says. The ones who were like have their hands on the levers of power here. I was watching the local news, and I mean, when I say disgustingly liberal. I mean, disgustingly liberal. This channel, and they had like they were talking to like a local Republican, and you could see that the reporter was getting like near violent levels of anger, like simmering beneath the surface. And I'm like, you're just interviewing the person. It's not like they came into your house and took a shit on the foyer. You know, I mean, ugh.
Oh, and Scooby, my brother's in the chat saying, I can confirm that Tara does not clean.
Hold on one second. Let me lower that because my wife is passing by the microphone talking. Baby, talk to the dog.
And you haven't given me my dose of patches today.
Yours is new too.
One second. Sorry, she's asking me questions.
But baby brother, actually, when I have my own place, I do clean. I generally keep it tidy. I don't do clean, except for the kitchen. The kitchen has to be clean. And that's only happened since I've worked in kitchens.
I don't know. I prefer the place being spotless. That's why I don't mind. You know,
I can't do spotless anymore. My ex-husband kind of beat that out of me. He wanted it spotless. That's what I mean by beat it out of me, because I can't do spotless anymore. But I can do tidy. But my kitchen has to be a certain type of clean. What are you doing, Temp? I keep hearing like a crinkling sound.
Oh, it's probably my fucking bottle. Sorry. I'm actually going to get off of here. I'm about to pass out.
Yeah, it's past your bedtime, isn't it? It's 11:30.
Yeah, dude, I'm like old people. I've been up. I've been up since 6, and it's been a week.
Oof, yeah. I know. You were telling me you didn't even have off around Christmas.
I got Christmas Day off. I was back to work the next day. I worked Christmas Eve, I worked New Year's Eve, and then the day after New Year's Day. And it's just been throwing off everything.
Damn. You know, I do miss working hours like that myself. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I liked it, but at the same time, it beats the hell out of you. You know, you got no break.
Oh, yeah. And that one day off just kind of throws your days off completely. Having just Tuesday off, very, very strange.
Yeah. And you know what? You said you're in shipping and receiving, right?
Yep, pretty much.
Oh God, yeah. I was doing inventory for a while. One of the hats I wore back in the day, when I first got out of college, I worked for Singular when they first came up here, and they made me an area manager, and I had parts of Queens, Nassau County, and parts of Suffolk County, all on the South Shore under my belt. So I had something like 9 stores under me, it was 3 districts, each had 3 stores, each had 3 area managers, and with each had like separate store managers. It was just a fucking nightmare, because I was the only one who had any college experience. They just hired people, like all these salespeople, like from different cell phone companies, and oh God, I know exactly what you mean. We lost an entire shipment of fucking Motorola's one year.
Oh shit!
It was during the merger.
Says, I clean my shit like a real man. So you pull the foreskin back and scrub it with a wire brush.
It was during the merger, actually, when AT&T reappropriated Singular and reconstituted them in and folded them. I was in middle management. That's part of the reason I got let go. But part of the reason, I think a lot of people said part of the reason Nokia and Motorola went under is we lost about 20% of our inventory on the East Coast. That's a huge number that just went missing. Yeah. So that was a huge amount of bank that Singular lost during the merger that AT&T wound up having to eat.
Rich says, not my dick, mama, my house. Well, you have to clarify when it comes to me. Gotta be specific.
Oh man,
Otherwise, I'll take it and run.
he's a good kid though.
He is. He takes our jabs pretty damn well.
Well, it's all done in love and affection, you know that.
Yep, we're the type, if we didn't like you, we won't pick on you. He goes,
So
although I am kind to my buddy.
I want to ask the temp before you get out of here because you said you were falling out. What is because I missed most of it because I had to sit there and play, driving Miss Peaches because she don't got a license. Um, but anyway, I wanted to ask you what's your opinion on like everything that's going on with the shutdown and the wall and whatnot.
I think that everybody's misphrasing saying compromise.
Mm-hmm.
I I think that we could compromise to funding a portion of the wall, if you know what I mean, because it's not going to be going up in a day.
Yeah.
And we're already moving military units there. Like DoD contacts are talking about how there's military units being planned to be deployed over there during the government shutdown. So they're going to be going over to the border, and Trump's talked about how he'll have the military building. There we go. We've already got the personnel, and that's budgeted into the military personnel. We've got, we could go. This is how many miles we're starting this year, and then start funding it as it goes along. It's not that hard to find a compromise when it comes to funding the wall. It's also not that hard to find a compromise of what they want. Unfortunately, everything is about absolutes at this point. Everybody wants absolutely what they want. They've Everybody's got to give a little bit, and this will stop. And that's usually what ends up happening.
Yeah.
That's how we ended up with the hollowed out Affordable Health Care Act. That's how I'm ending up still having to pay a tax fine for not having health care for 6 months this year. Like, that's fucking bullshit. But, you know, I mean, it is what it is with all this stuff. The government's going to start back up. They're not going to leave people unpaid. They're not going to leave themselves unpaid. Nobody wants to be unpaid.
Yeah.
Jobs need to be done, and they will have to come to a head somehow, and hopefully soon.
Yeah. Definitely. My thing, the way I look at it as, I guess it's because I came, from family that we have like the dual thing going on. Like we're a military family, but we're also a family that's worked in construction. And I myself, worked for a Teamster shop, and I was just a laborer. I was a ditch digger. But I've been around it most of my life, and I was one of those people. I was all for them putting up the wall just for the main reason. I've said this for a long time, and it's annoying to me that he has to go the route that he's going with military. I was hoping that they would actually be able to go to the private sector because I think it would completely transform the southwest of the country. My personal opinion, because of turning it into a public works project, using all private sector contractors, you'd have to completely redo the infrastructure down there just to get all of the materials to and from the border to put up the wall. The amount of industry that it's going to take to produce all of the materials to put up the wall. And then the other thing I've pointed out to multiple people is, for let's say like okay, let's say Texas, for example, because of how much border is going to be going up in Texas, all of the different towns counties, villages, hamlets, they're all going to have to get audited. And then the federal level, like their mirrors, are also going to get audited. It's going to completely revolutionize everything down there because it's going to uproot most of the corruption. It's going to completely reinvent the Southwest of this country if they do it through private contractors and through, like a public works program. But they keep fighting him tooth and nail, and that's what's really bothering me. Is I was looking at it as something that was actually going to benefit the entire country because the coasts, the West Coast and the East Coast are already really banging. And I'm not knocking the Gulf because anyone who knows anything about shipping in this country knows that the Gulf is currently where it's at. But I'm talking a little bit further. Once you get inland more away from the Gulf, it's still, there's a lot of desert down there. This would completely revitalize everything. They'd have to bring in more agriculture. They'd have to bring in more irrigation because you'd have all of this new communities that were going to be built up just around building this wall. I mean, I don't know. It just frustrates me that the way my father, may he rest in peace, he worked on the Eisenhower projects when they did the public highways. And he would always talk about how they were, and I did get to see a little bit of it myself. I saw the tail end of it in the the latter part of the 20th century, in the 80s and 90s, and I see such an opportunity like that for the Southwest, and I'm furious with the Democrats for fucking the country out of it. It's the way I look at it, anyway.
I don't see many people moving down there though.
If yeah, I hate using the cliche, but if you build it, they will come. I mean, I think that if like all of those job opportunities, and I mean booming industry, like if it turned out like a lot of things down the Gulfway were going to become like boom towns, you'd see so much investment going in down there. You'd see the economy get stimulated. It would completely transform it. I mean, it's already, since the hurricanes happened in the past like 14, 15 years, they've done a lot of rebuilding in a lot of the coastal areas. So it's already got new infrastructure. So it would just be an expansion upon that already. That's what's gone on down there. I see if he built the wall the way that I was looking at it and the way I'm hoping that they'll actually accomplish it, I see the Gulf Coast surpassing the East Coast as the premier coast of this country. I do not see that as being a far-fetched statement. Seriously.
It could happen. I mean, that's fair. But the problem is that you know the issue is that they're saying that there's no reason for a wall. There's a lot of
Mhm.
people that are saying that the wall isn't going to work, and it's not even that the wall's not going to work. It is going to work, but eventually there'll be a way around it.
Oh, there always is.
It is true. If you make an 11-foot wall, they're going to find a 12-foot ladder.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be that way over and over and over. And all it is about adapt and survive.
Yeah. Well, I look at the wall. Once the wall is in place, what that becomes now is it creates cottage industries in and of itself, but it becomes like almost like a perennial windfall for construction if you think about it, because you got to maintain this thing. You constantly got to update it. Like you said, okay, they show up with a 12-foot ladder, so you got to add 2 more feet of bricks, shit of that nature. And eventually it's going to get to the point where there's so many redundancies, you're going to have to tear down and rebuild. It's never going to be, it's always going to be ongoing once it's put into place. And it's one of those things where people are going to bitch and complain about, oh, the waste of money, the waste of this, the waste of that. The way that this country has been designed and our economy has been designed, we were supposed to keep doing public works projects, legitimate public works projects. All this skimming and thievery is what has hurt the country. But the way the economy was designed, where we constantly had to keep building things and tearing things down and rebuilding them, because if we didn't, the economy would literally stagnate. And a public works project like this, like putting up the wall, the industry that's going to get built around it, the communities that are going to spring up around it, I see nothing but good things for the country for it. That's just the way I look at it myself. I mean, it's going to constantly have to be maintained. All the roads to and from are going to have to be maintained. The equipment that works on it is constantly going to
Richard
have to be
Eric says,
maintained, updated, and
Dennis, the wall
replaced.
won't work. Look at Attack on Titan.
I'm glad that
Oh
somebody
my
pointed.
God, we should. I think that would work if we just shoved a bunch of Mexicans into the walls.
Well, like in 300, use them as the mortar. I want to actually point out something. If I'm showing my age, but if anyone remembers the original RoboCop, the
I do.
droid, the droid in that ED-209 was they basically the way that the thing was designed. It was a lemon, for lack of a better term. It did not work properly. And the whole point was it wasn't supposed to work properly itself. It was supposed to be that the time, money, and investment that were put into it were going to be paid off in it getting scrapped and sold as parts. For it getting, if not so much used as military contracts, for at least used for security contracts. Like all of the other, it wasn't so much the meat; it was the garnish was the whole point of it. So even if the wall per se itself is lackluster, or for whatever reason is not this or not that, it's the rest of it is the whole point of the wall. Is my point. You see, it's what it's going to do for the country, what it'll do for the economy, what it'll do for infrastructure down south. By the Gulf region to begin with. It's those are all of the things, the benefits about the wall I'm worried about. Not so much the static defense of the wall itself per se. It's everything going into the construction, maintenance, and upkeep of the wall. That's the thing that I'm talking about.
How much? You know what? I've never seen a figure on how much a year it would be for maintenance. So, and whatever figure it is, I'm sure that it'll end up being more by the time that figure comes into play.
Oh, I'm sure it will be. I mean, let's be realistic here. I've never once seen them bring in anything under budget. Anything that
Oh
they've
hell no!
said, yeah. Whenever they say we're going to do it for 10, they do it for 20. And I say this as somebody who was a state employee for most of my young adult life. They do not know how to handle funds at all. They are some of the biggest crooks. I mean, I've worked for the Democrats since the 90s. And holy shit, just the nepotism, the cronyism, uh, the flat out skimming off the top, the embezzlement, and you can sit there and scream it from the rooftops. No one listens. That's the thing that really frustrates you. That's the thing that makes you lose faith in this country. Is shit like that.
Oh yeah.
You sit there and you try to tell people, "Hey, this is going on, that's going on, this is going down, that's going," and no one cares, no one listens because they're all taking a taste. That's the thing that always used to get my goat.
Oh yeah.
Everybody has a price tag.
Not me.
Well, yeah, that's true. Not me either. But
No,
Nobody
I
can really afford my ass. But I am out of here, you guys. Have a good night.
it was
you too,
nice.
brother man. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New
Happy New
Year.
Year, everybody. See
It was
y'all
good
later.
meeting
Bye.
you. Bye.
Good
Yep, be
meeting
good,
you
brother.
too. I'll see y'all next week. Peace.
All right.
Yep.
Bye.
Later.
No,
Yeah.
Scoob, you caught the last half of it. Fucking Sarah and Temper sitting over there laughing their asses off.
Well, I
Well,
was
because
engaging because I was like refuting everything she was saying too.
you and your roommate.
Yeah.
I'd love to talk politics with her one night, seriously, and just get into it. She'd probably get very angry with me.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, well, you learned the hard way not to talk politics with me and Burnside because we don't get nasty, we don't get angry, we're polite. We don't have to get nasty and angry. I only get nasty and angry for some reason with the communists. They get under my skin.
Well, you can ask Sarah. I'm sitting here trying to be nice about it.
Yes.
Well, she has that Trump derangement syndrome, huh?
And I'm sitting here telling her I don't like the man. I'm not exactly defending him. I'm trying to explain how the government works.
That's too funny.
And it's like, yeah, Trump did say he'd keep it down, shut down for months to years. He owned that shit. Like, Trump owns everything he says. Like, he doesn't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm. That's why I voted for him.
Exactly.
He can't keep it shut down because Congress can go and go, no, you're being a spoiled little bitch, and turn it back on.
I look at it this way. He's there to fight for us. Congress isn't. They're there to rip us off.
Exactly.
I say this as somebody who's met a few of these bastards throughout the course of their climb up the ladder when I was working. And I don't know. I've just met and dealt with enough politicians in my life, and I can't particularly care for him. This man, though, I heard nothing but good things about him. I heard good things about him from my father. My father didn't like nobody. That's the thing. Therein lies the rub. When the old man said he met him, and he said, "Pay attention, Pachorta." When they had the replay of later on when at night they had the replay on of when it was on Oprah. This is my God, what's this? 35 years ago now. He was on Oprah's show.
Yeah.
And he calls me in the room. He says, "Pachorta, come in here." I said, "Okay, what's the matter? Come here, sit down. I want you to watch this." I said, "Okay." I was a kid. I was probably about 5, 6 years old. And it's like, "Yeah, I want you to watch this." And it was him getting interviewed, Trump getting interviewed by Oprah Winfrey. And watched the whole interview. He said, "This man's going to run for president one day." He's like, "You're old enough, you vote for him." I said, "Okay, sure, whatever, Dad." I didn't think it was going to come to pass, but I didn't just immediately, like, I wasn't 100% on the train, like, die hard. Like, I was never going to vote for anybody else. When I heard he was running, I said, "Okay, I'll vote for him," because, I said, I heard him talking. And really quick background about me, anyone who knows about me, I'm actually a bit of a nerd. I'm into fish keeping, and I'm into fish in general, just from fishing. So, all right, really, really quick soapboxing. China's responsible for the death of God knows how many species of fish. They have 7 main rivers in their country. I think it's 5 of them. 97% of the species of fish are dead from pollution, and 5 of the 7 of their rivers. So there's a lot of environmental pollution going on in China, a lot of shit like that. And I was and always have been, believe it or not, an environmentalist. That's one of the many hats I wear. And so when the old man was talking about China and no one else was, I said, okay, that's one thing in his favor. And then I just watched how he decimated all the Republicans. I was like, holy shit, this guy's like a force of nature. Because I never once saw his TV show. I never watched that Apprentice shit. I didn't care. It just wasn't any.
I've watched a few episodes, and like, Trump don't play. He's there to run a business. He's there. Like, look, he gets down to brass tacks. He is there to run a business. He's not there to be your best friend. He's not there to coddle you, nothing like that. No, he is your boss. You have a job to do, and this is your job.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, there's the door. The same way you come in.
You know what it is? A lot of people, and I hate saying it, they'd sit there and they'd say how they didn't like him and they didn't like the way he talked and this, that, and the third. And I say, okay, show me. And they'd show me the clip from The Apprentice. I go, okay, where's he going to start where he is going to be talking the way you're just making it out? And well, that was the clip. I just showed it to you. I go, yeah, and I get chewed out like that at least 2, 3 times a day at work. The fuck you talking about? And I hate saying it. It's because a lot of people nowadays they don't work in blue collar fields, and when they do work in blue collar fields, like I wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? This is not a detraction or a slur against the fast food workers, but it's not the same sort of blue collar work if you're working in fast food as it is if you're putting up framing in a house or you're doing drywall or sheetrock or plumbing or carpentry or you're putting in carpet or tile or roofing. You know, it's not the same sort of blue collar working, you know. That's why I always refer to it as retail with fries, because that's
Well,
really what it is.
it is in a way the same because you have a set of rules and regulations that you have to abide by. Same thing with carpentry or
4-minute
dry.
warning.
All right. Same
Hmm.
thing with carpentry, whatever. You know, you have a set of rules and regulations that you have to go by. You have a set of codes, set of you know, because you got to get, you're on a time, like a deadline. You have to get. Same thing with fast food. Like, you're there to work. You have to service so many customers. You're on. You have so many minutes to get their food ready and out to them and so forth. So it in a way it is, in a way it's not. So
I hear you. I thought you were still going on, so I didn't want to interrupt.
nah.
Okay, who's ready for their show? Sarah.
I am I'm Queen of the South, aka Queenie the Dick Doctor. You can find me here on YouTube, or you can find me on Discord. I don't really have anything.
Scooby.
That's it.
Well, you guys know the deal. I'm Scooby331, obviously, since you're watching my channel. You guys can find me here on YouTube. I am on GabAI, Minds.com. I have a Patreon and a PayPal. If you guys are feeling generous, please donate to the PayPal, as that's the one I check more often than the Patreon. As I am in between a decent computing unit, laptop or desktop, whatever. I'm cool with either. But I'm currently in between because that's why Tara's actually running this right now for me because my computer can't even run Google Hangout. It kind of sucks. So yeah, definitely if you're feeling generous, hit me up. I also have an Instagram. I Everyone keeps trying to tell me how to use the thing. I'll figure it out eventually. I'm not interested in playing with it right now. But yeah, that's me. So follow me on those things. I should have stuff up coming up in the next week or two.
And I'm Terracin, your favorite cyber bitch. You can find me on pretty much any social media. I'm working on a Cedar Key video explaining the history and the places to visit there, although there's not much there to do except for fish. And because Burnside's a pussy little bitch, and I'm going to get on to him about it and hassle him until I put out the video myself, I'll be making my eagle rescue video as soon as Six teaches me how to remove sound and put in my own music. So, good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, all. Thank you for joining us.